What's up, Notjust developers? Welcome back to a new live stream, and today we are going to continue our Discord clone that we have started a couple of weeks ago. Everything is going to be done in a React Native with Stream Chat SDK, and this is going to be a tutorial for beginners, and I'm going to explain like step by step everything that we have to do. So, if you don't know, a couple of weeks ago we have built the first part of Discord, and there we have set up, installed, and configured StreamChat SDK to provide us with the most important functionalities for a messaging application like Discord, such as private messaging, groups, and also a lot of features that are specifically for chatting applications like message replies, message reactions, threads, sending URLs, sending emojis, and a lot more features there. So that was in the first part. And if you haven't followed it along, check it out on the channel page or follow the link that you see here. I highly encourage you to start from there because it's in 3 hours. We are doing so much there. And yeah, you're going to see in a moment, I'm going to demo what we already have. But the plan for today will be, first we're going to start with authentication. And today we're going to implement a proper authentication with Amplify authentication. And we are going to synchronize a StreamChat user with our user from our backend. This is a question that I've got asked multiple times regarding StreamChat, and a lot of people I know that had some issues. But in fact, like, it's quite easy to implement it. The only thing is to know like where and how to implement all the calls. So today we're gonna do that. We're gonna first initialize our backend with Amplify, and after that we're gonna set up our authentication, our very simple minimalistic database that will handle like token creations and synchronization with StreamChat. After that, we're gonna get into private messages, and here we're gonna implement features like starting a private message with any user from the application. And for that, we're gonna have to create a screen that will list all the users. And like when you press on it, you're gonna be redirected to the private messages with that user. After that, we're gonna get into the channel management, and here we're gonna implement features like creating a channel, adding users to the channels. Maybe we're gonna, if we're gonna have time, we're gonna implement something like kicking users, banning users, and so on. In general, the whole management of the channels. So that's the plan for today. And this live stream is sponsored by StreamChat SDK. Thank you very much, Stream, for making this possible. If you don't know, Stream is the #1 platform to implement chatting and feed applications. And yeah, like at this point, like you already know and saw how easy it is to build chat applications with Stream. And yeah, like at this point, I don't understand like why would you spend like half a year or even more on creating your own backend and coding all the features that StreamChat SDK provides by default. So yeah, once again, thank you very much, Stream, for sponsoring this video. And you guys follow the link in the description below to sign up for a 30 days free account. And by the way, Stream also has a free account for makers. It's called Maker Account. And that's specifically for young projects and startups that are not yet at that level that they can afford paying the subscription. So if you are in that case, you can apply and get your free account from Stream, from getstream.io. All right, so getting back to our build for today. If you want to follow along, which I highly encourage, then you're gonna need a couple of steps. First of all, you're gonna need the asset bundle, where I will include a couple of pre-made components in order to speed up our development. We're gonna have like demo data and so on, and you can get it at assets.notjust.dev/discord. Also, you're going to need an Expo environment because this project is using Expo. And lastly, the Stream account that has a 30 days free trial. You can sign up following this URL on the screen. This is live. This is live. Let me finish the introduction and we're going to have a chat with the live chat. So, the starting point, as I said, this is part 2. So if you want to start from the beginning, you can follow this video here. But if you want to start from the same point today, you can clone the repository that I have provided here, and you're gonna have all the code that we implemented in the first video. That's the lazy route if you want to take it. After you clone it, it's important switch to the part 1 branch, because part 1 branch will contain the code that we did in the part 1 of this series. After that, install all the dependencies, run the project, and we are gonna be ready to get started and implement all the features that we planned for today. So let me as well go ahead and show you a bit the application that we have managed to build in the first part. But while I'm doing that, everyone in the live chat, hello everyone. I want to know, where are you joining us from today? How are you doing, guys? So, first of all, our application is greeting us with an welcome screen, and here we have a simulation of a sign up screen, because we are not actually signing up a user with any backend. We are only signing up with a StreamChat SDK. So here anyone would be able to sign with the same username, because we are not validating anything. So full name Vadim, and here something like this. Login. Will you work? Why are not working? Okay, that's the demo effect. Every time when you're trying to demo, something is not working. So what's going on here? Unhandled exception. That's awesome. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Oh, yeah. 1 second. So we have our application on stream.io. So let's go and check it out. And here is our application. And the thing that I had to do, because I was testing around before, is to enable the development tokens. We did that in the previous video, but I disabled them. So where is it? Authentication, come on. Dev. No, it should be in chat. Overview. Yes, here. I'm gonna scroll a bit until I see the disable authentication checks, save, and now I'm gonna be able to showcase the application. Login. It's gonna work. It's gonna work. So first one is Vadim. Here as well, Vadim. Login. And here we have our homepage. Initially, we don't have any channel selected, so we are greeted with this message. And then here we see all the public channels on the top. At the moment, we have only 1 public channels and all the private channels on the bottom. The thing is that we didn't manage to implement actually the private channels, so that's what we're gonna do today. And here in the public channels, we already saw people chatting, and you can, you can send messages, you can tag people, for example, you can tag people, you can add photos here. For example, this one, select and then send. You can add GIFs. You can reply to few what? Wait a second. So let's select the channel again. I think it's the So, in general, this is the application. As you can see here, a lot of people are already talking. Yeah, we are ready to get started and start implementing the first features. But before that, let me see what people are saying in the chat. Hello from Kenya. Hello, Nathan. Estonia. Hello, Stan. Very nice, informative session. We're just getting started. So a lot of things are gonna come shortly. Okay. So guys, for our backend, because that's the question that I've been getting asked a lot, how would you connect StreamChat SDK with an actual backend, with your custom code, with your backend, being it your custom Node.js backend or your Amplify, Firebase, or anything like that? The thing that we have to do is in app.tsx, when we connect the client, and it's actually in the authentication, in the screens, sign up screen, whenever we connect the client with StreamChat, this is the StreamChat client, we are sending at the moment a dev token, and this is intended only for development purposes. If you want to deploy your application to production, then this token should be generated by your backend. This token should be a JWT token, and inside that token, the payload of the token should contain a property called user ID, and that user ID should match with this ID that we are sending here. So by sending a token that was generated by our backend, and that inside it contains a property user ID, when we send this request from the front end, then StreamChat SDK will be able to decode our token, and we'll be able to check if the user ID that we provided in the token is the same as the user ID that we are providing here. And only then it will authenticate properly the user. Because in that situation, the connection is secure, and the person who is signing in is actually the person who pretends to be. So now the question is, okay, the question is, why do we need to do it on the backend to generate the token? We need to do it on the backend because when we generate the token, we need to use the secret key provided by the StreamChat. Using that secret key that you should never expose to anyone, StreamChat will be able to decode your token. You might use that secret in your frontend, but in that situation, and it's gonna work, but in that situation, you have security issues because you are exposing the secret in your frontend. So if you're building websites, that's super easy to take it. If you're building mobile application, it's a bit harder, but still it's not advisable to have secrets in the client-side code. So for that reason, we need to separate the concerns of generating the secret on your backend in order to authenticate the user, and connecting with StreamChat SDK from our frontend by simply providing that token and the ID. I hope that makes sense, but I think when we will actually implement it, it will make more sense. So the first step that we have is we need to have a backend for our application. So for the backend of our application, we're gonna set up Amplify project, and with Amplify project, we're gonna set up authentication and later on the other stuff that we need. So I'm gonna go to my account. Hello from India. Hello from Senegal. Hello guys. How are you today? In our AWS console, let's go to AWS Amplify. And let's press on a new application. If you don't have any application, you will see a big button, create new application. And from this drop down, let's press on the build an application, not host an application, because that's for the web. For the application name, let's do Discord, confirm deployment. And now we are gonna wait until Amplify sets up our project, so we will be able to access it through Amplify Studio UI. So, come on. Hi from Brazil. Hello, Gabriel. Hola. Yo soy Vadim. I need to learn more Spanish. That's the constant state of mind. So the good thing is that, yeah, like we finished initializing our project, and in the next page, let's go ahead and press launch Studio to launch Amplify Studio UI. And here we're greeting with a welcome message. Okay, from this page, from Amplify Studio, this is the place where we manage all our backend infrastructure. And what we're interested at the moment is to provide an authentication mechanism to have our users stored in DynamoDB, so that we will see how to connect DynamoDB users with StreamChat SDK. So in our authentication, let's go in the setup, authentication, and here we can deploy right away, but the only thing that I will change is in the password protection. I'm gonna make my life easier to have less rules for our passwords. So after that is done, I'm gonna press deploy. And now here we see that our application is being deployed, like with the new changes here with authentication. So we're gonna have to wait a few minutes for our Cognito resources to be generated. We actually speak Portuguese. Oh my God, that's my bad. I don't know why I thought it's Spanish. This time I'm drinking tea. I'm not drinking coffee because, as you can hear, my voice is gone, and yeah, I feel a bit sick. I've been feeling sick for the last days, but that's not a reason not to build applications and to build projects. Hello from Venezuela. Thanks so much for your projects. They helped me so much. Alejandro, thank you very much. Alejandro, I'm pretty sure you're speaking Spanish, right? Or no? Okay, I'm not gonna assume the languages, because most definitely I'm gonna be wrong. Yeah, we are waiting right now for our application to be deployed. And after that we can... Sí, nosotros hablamos español, sí. Muy bien. Yo no hablo español muy bien. Pero necesito hablo porque yo vive en España. Hopefully that made sense, but that's horrible. All right. David, hello from Argentina. How is going to be hello in your language? Let me search. Oh, okay, it's hola. So we have a lot of Spanish-speaking subscribers. Marux, hello. Marux from Algeria. Sí, se entendió perfecto. Let me search what entendió means. I don't know. I didn't reach that word in Duolingo yet. Okay, so good. Enough talking. Our application has been deployed. So our next step would be to copy this command from here, press on the deployment successful. And here we have amplify pull command. Let's press to copy it. And let's go in our application, open a new terminal. And from here, paste our command to pull all the changes. Yeah, are you sure to log in? Yes, let's log in. Successfully logged in, and back here we need to choose a couple of options for everything to be configured. So default editor, in my case, that's Visual Studio Code. The application that we are building, it's a JavaScript application, and then choose the React Native here. Source directory path, let's leave it by default as src, distribution as well, build command, start command, and do you plan on modifying this backend? Press yes, and then enter. Okay, that has successfully pulled. And if you're interested what was generated, it was generated one file in our src directory, which is called AWS exports. And this AWS exports contains all the IDs and settings for our services. In our case, we have only authentication, and that's why we have only this AWS Cognito settings. When we're gonna add more things, this file will contain more configuration. Another thing that was added was the Amplify folder, and here we have a backend, and here is where all the code for our backend lives. We will rarely have to touch it, and yeah, like we're gonna get there. The next step would be to install the necessary libraries, and for that I'm gonna go to Amplify docs to copy them from there. And let's go to getting started. Choose here React Native, and let's go to the setup full project. Let's scroll down a bit, and where we have installed Amplify libraries, select the Expo, copy. Back in our terminal, let's paste it and enter. Do you always use the UI-based code for all your React Native applications? If you meant if I'm not using any UI libraries and I'm coding everything myself, in most of the cases, yes, that's true. I don't know, like I feel more comfortable creating my own components, making sure like to create them reusable and so on when I'm working on a bigger project. However, when I'm doing projects on the web, I tend to use UI libraries. But mostly if I'm developing for web, that's some internal tools. And for that, like I don't want to spend a lot of time customizing everything. And I'd rather use And I don't want to spend a lot of time building everything from scratch. That's why I'm using a library that provides all the buttons, inputs, and so on. But because my applications usually are facing the end user, I want everything custom and fully flexible. So that's why most of the times I use everything myself. So after this is done, let's go back and start configuring our Amplify backend. So for that, let's open app.tsx. And here, let's import a couple of things. First of all, we are going to import Amplify from AWS Amplify. After that, we're going to import the settings, the AWS exports file, basically these AWS settings here. So let's import AWS config from this directory, then go into the source directory, and there you will find AWS exports. After that, having these two things, we put them together by calling amplify.configure, and we send their AWS config. See that it is deprecated, and actually it's gonna work, but let me try to destructure it. Will it work like this? Yes, probably the default export like this is the old way of doing it and is deprecated. Default is deprecated, so let's try to do it with destructuring it. So we have here AWS config, and we can refresh our application, but nothing will change. Yeah, we might need to actually rerun the server. But let's see. All right, so our application is running. We don't have any errors. That's good. It means that it was configured correctly. We installed the libraries correctly. Sorry. And now the next step would be to implement authentication. You're going to be amazed how easy it is to implement authentication. So the only thing that we have to do is import authentication from, actually it's from AWS Amplify React Native, but not authentication, but with authenticator, hook. Go here where we have our export default function application. Let's comment out the export default because we are going to export them here. So let's write export default, and we're not going to export default the application right away, but we're going to wrap it inside this higher order component with authenticator. Now we first will execute the with authenticator, which will manage the authentication state and all the authentication screens, and only after we pass the authentication we're gonna go to our application here. So what's wrong there with authenticator? We might have to, no, actually we don't have to restart it. So right away we are greeted with the sign into your account screen. So what we can do here, go to the sign up screen, and here create a new user. For the username, let's provide a valid email because we set up the username to be in form of email. For the password, define a password. Email, let's do the same. And phone number doesn't matter because we're not using it for verification. Now for the username, let's repeat our email and let's grab the confirmation code that we received on our email. So let me check it. Here it should be 565320. Okay. Come on. 565320. Confirm. Okay, it worked, and we're back to the sign-in screen, which means that we confirmed our account, and the last step would be just to sign in our application. And only after doing this, we are gonna see everything that we have in our application. And of course, in our application, by default, our navigator will render this welcome screen. But we don't need to do that. So from the source navigation index, I'm going to what? For the moment, I'm going to delete this sign-in screen, and I'm gonna leave only these two: stack screen root and stack screen not found. So now we are right away here. And yeah, the problem is that we don't see any chat rooms yet because we didn't authenticate with Stream, but that's the next step, so we still have a lot of things to do. The good thing is that now if I reload the application, I'm not gonna see the authentication screen again. And what else? Probably I'm gonna show you also how to sign out, because that's an important one. Just let me think where to put it. Probably in the navigation drawer navigator, where we have here channel list, here custom drawer navigator. I'm gonna add here at the bottom a text field called logout, and on press it's gonna call logout, and let's implement this function here. Const logout equal like this, and I'm gonna have to give some styles there. So style, yeah, simply color white, font weight bold. Come on, where are you? And what else? I don't see it. Height 50. Actually, I saw it once, but now I don't. Oh, it's here, logout. So I don't need this flex one. It simply should be there. Logout, yes. And I'm gonna add actually some margin 10. When this displays the error, we're not gonna see the logout, but if I'm gonna refresh, here is the logout button, and I can press on it. And yeah, let's go ahead and implement the logout functionality. For that, we're gonna simply have to import the authentication module from React AWS Amplify. And in our logout function, we simply do authentication.signout. We call this function, and let's try to press on this logout, and we are back to the sign-in screen. And if I refresh the application, we are still gonna see here. So that means that everything behind the scenes when it comes to authentication is managed by Amplify using the Amazon Cognito. I'm gonna sign in back again. If you're interested on how you can customize the authentication experience, I have done a very in-depth tutorial on authentication screens that takes you from doing all the screens from scratch yourself until implementing Amplify authentication with custom screens, custom themes, custom colors, and so on. So if you want to check that out, also check it on the channel, where I'm gonna try to leave a link somewhere here. So sign in, yeah, because I made a mistake here. Okay, we are signed in. Let's check the chat for a bit. can you make a beginner-friendly tutorials? If you want to get started with React Native, the most beginner-friendly tutorial that we have on the channel is the Tesla clone. You can check it out, like it's very simple. I tried to make it very simple. But like other projects as well, I'm trying to walk you through all the steps that you have here. Spotify application. Tarun, yes, we have already done the Spotify clone. Check it out on the channel. You have to build an Android application with React Native and Expo, but I don't know if I need to use a UI library or build the UI from scratch. It depends on the requirements. Like if the UI is not the most important part and you're just developing a proof of concept, go for some UI libraries. But if you have more experience and you need very custom UI, then you'd have to do it from scratch. How can I join your course? I'm the waiting list forever. Yes, regarding the course, this week I've been working like crazy on the course, and I managed to finish the biggest module so far, which is covering the API, and it's covering very in depth with all the features of API. Also covers GraphQL, Apollo client to query and cache your backend API, and a lot more like authorization, authentication, Lambda functions for our API, and so on. So that was the biggest one, and I'm gonna come with some updates very shortly, like probably at the beginning of the next week or Monday. Expect some updates about the course. I'm very excited about that. I've been working like more than half a year on it, basically mostly every day. So it's something that I already see the end result, and it's very powerful. I see that a lot of people already get a lot of value out of it and are managing to build full stack applications, which is the goal of this course, like to teach you to be independent developer, to be able to take a mobile application from zero to production to market, developing both the front end, the back end, and also making sure that everything is secure, performant, and cost efficient. So yeah, if you're interested, the link to the course is in the description below. Join the waitlist, and very shortly I'm gonna send an update. And back to our video. So, as I said, let's have a look at this. Actually, I'm gonna show you in the documentation of Stream because it makes a bit more sense there. No, so the way we have been using the connect user method from the Stream API, from the Stream client, was using the dev client. Now, as I said before, we need to provide here a JWT token that would contain that would be generated on our backend, and it will contain the user ID that we provide here. So, because it needs to be done on the backend, and we are using Amplify, our goal will be to generate it in a Lambda function. A Lambda function is a simple function that is running in the cloud, which serves as a backend logic, and where we can define like what should that function do, hook it up to our API endpoint, and then with a simple request to that server, we will invoke that function. That function will generate for us a token by encoding the user identifier, and then we're gonna receive it here and send it to the StreamChat, and this way we're gonna make the connection between the two. First of all, let's see how does an authenticated user look in our Cognito user pool to know like what data do we have here. To get that, we can do user data is equal to await authentication dot, make sure to import authentication from AWS Amplify. Where is it? Here. And we will call current authenticated user. Now if I do console log user data, we will why I do not see it? Oh, because we're not calling this connect user. Okay, let me grab it from here. I don't know, in the app.tsx somewhere. Let's do it here. I cannot do it here. Const fetch user. And I'm gonna call fetch user in this use effect. Let's import authentication. And in our application, when it mounts, it's gonna show us the current authenticated user. So back here, we see the data about our Cognito user. Amazing. What is important to see here is this sub, which stands for subject. And this subject is the unique identifier of the user. So we are going to use this subject as the user ID, and we're gonna send, first of all, we're gonna send it here to the user ID. We're gonna send the user sub. And inside the JW token that we're gonna generate, we're gonna encode the user sub as well, so that they will be the same and they will match. Okay, so our next step will be to add an API, because it's going to be much easier to call a Lambda function through an API without having to manage all the authentication, headers, and so on. But I expect that you already have an API, so I'm just going to show you the part that we need only for this token. This can be done in your API as well. So for that, let's call Amplify here in our terminal, add API. Let's select GraphQL. Authorization mode. Wait a second. What's happening here for me? Okay, here is the GraphQL that will create. Select a setting to edit or continue. Name, Discord, authorization mode, API key, and conflict detection disable. Well, the only thing that I don't like from here is the authorization mode API key, because whenever we have authorization mode API key, we will not be able to get the user data that is doing a request. So for that reason, we're going to select from the next option authorization modes, because we need to change it to the Amazon Cognito user pool. That means that our API will be, users will be authorized to the API using their Cognito user pool. So in that situation, we're gonna have access to their data from our Lambda function. Configure additional authentication types, no, and we can continue. Choose the schema template. Let's choose a blank schema. Do you want to edit the schema now? Let's press yes, and it will automatically open it. If it didn't open for you, that also might be the case. Then go ahead in the Amplify directory, Backend, API, the name of your project, and then here you have schema.graphql. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna delete this public rule because I don't need it to be public, and if I leave it, it will ask me to generate a key, so we don't need that. What we need to do is to define a query that we will be able to run in order to generate the token. So on the GraphQL, we're gonna add a query on the type query, and here we're gonna specify the query name, get stream token. This get stream token will return a string, so let's say string, and it's required, and we will not pass any parameters here. Now, in order to link this query to a Lambda function, so whenever we call this query, we will execute the Lambda function, we can add the GraphQL, I forgot the name, the add function here, function, and for the name of a function, let's say get stream token. But that's not it. We also need to assign the environment variables to this name, because our function will have will end in the environment name. So for staging, it will end in dash staging. For our, will end in dash production. Get stream token. Yeah, that's okay. So we have basically said, whenever we run this get stream token query, execute this Lambda function. The problem is that we didn't add the Lambda function yet. So let's go ahead and do Amplify add function to generate this get stream token Lambda function that will be responsible for generating tokens. Let's select Lambda function, provide an AWS Lambda function name. We called it get stream token. Make sure it's the same name as here. Without the environment, because the environment is going to be added automatically. And for the runtime, I'm going to choose Node.js, and for the template, I'm going to choose the Hello World Lambda. Do you want to configure advanced settings? I don't think so. I think we have everything that we need. No, actually, we need to set up environment variables, because we don't want to hard code our keys inside the Lambda function. So it's better to send them through environment. So let's go ahead and say yes. Do you want to access our resources in this project from your Lambda function? No. Do you want to invoke this function on a request? No. Do you want to enable layers? No. And here, do you want to configure environment variables? Yes, we do. And here, enter environment variable name. So let's call this stream underscore key. And let's go ahead in our stream dashboard. Let's select our project. In my case, this is Discord clone. Let's go to the chat and here overview. If I scroll down a bit, I'm gonna get to the access keys. So the key in my case is this one. So let's copy and let's paste the value. And we need to add also the secret. So don't press I'm done yet, but add new environment variable. And this is gonna be stream secret. Now the environment, the value for this value, we will get from the click to reveal from this secret. So let's add it, enter, and now we can press I am done. So now, as we can see, we can access the following resources from environment variables: environment, region, stream key, and stream secret. Do you want to configure secret values this function can access? Secret values this function can access. No, probably we don't need to. And here it asks, do you want to edit the local Lambda function now? Let's press yes and press enter to continue. So our VS Code opened automatically our Lambda function here. If it didn't, go ahead and open Amplify, Backend, Functions, and the getStream function. And in the source, open the index.js. And this is currently the function. So it's a normal function. The only difference is that it runs in the cloud, and it will receive this event with all the data that we're gonna send there, and the structure of this data. There is a documentation on the structure of this data if you're interested. On Amplify docs, probably functions. I don't remember exactly. GraphQL server in Lambda. Calling GraphQL API from Lambda. No. Calling Dynamically. Calling. It's this one. Somewhere here. Well, I cannot find right now exactly the documentation for this event. But one of the things that this event will receive is the identity of a user that is doing this query. So, but actually, let me go ahead and just deploy it like this, not to confuse you even more, and then we're gonna discuss later. So, new generated token. Let's return just a random string so that we can see if it's working properly. Now let's go ahead and deploy everything, not git deploy, but amplify push dash yes, and this will not yes but yes. And this will create all the things that we have configured at the moment here. They will create it in the backend in the cloud. For example, our API in the function. An error occurred. Yes, because in the schema.graphql we should use double quotes, not single quotes. I always make this mistake. So, yes, we're gonna wait a couple of minutes until it deploys the first time, and then we're gonna continue with our features. I'm gonna be back in just 1 minute. I need to clean my nose. Hello. Hey, I know you must. Will you ever return to the TikTok series? You never finished implementing a scoreboard. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna, to be honest, if I'm gonna return to the tic-tac-toe. Because like with these clones, like there is no exact stop line that you would say, okay, I've done everything, because you cannot do everything. So it depends on like balancing what most of you guys watching will enjoy and will take as value, and with balancing with time, like and the projects and other projects that are important on the channel, as well, balancing it with the course, because like the more detailed and the more in-depth stuff is for the course and for the people that want to take their career to the next level. So yeah, that's a quick response. So our function has been deployed, and what can we do now? Let's go back to our AWS console here. Let's refresh this page that shows our project. And I'm going to check the API here category, and let's press on the view in AppSync. It will open here in AppSync, and we can check the queries. At the moment we have only one query, get stream token, as you can see. So let's select this one and let's run our query. We see a request fail with status code 401. This is unauthenticated because we didn't log in with our credentials. For the client ID, select the one that says client web, not just client. Username, let's do like this. The one that I used to register in the application here. Login. Will it work? Yes. And now if I run, I see the answer get stream token, return as new generated token. That's the value that we return here. Now the question is, where will we see this console log event? We will see this console log event if we check the logs of our Lambda function. But first, let's find our Lambda function. To do that, let's go back to our Amplify project. And here, let's select functions. We see the view in Lambda. You can open it up here. And here you will see all the information about our Lambda function, including the code. But don't edit the code here because we will overwrite it next time when you deploy the application. What's interesting here is, for example, monitor. And in the monitor, let's press on the view logs in CloudWatch. CloudWatch is the service responsible for logging. And our Lambda function will send all the logs, all basically console log events, we'll send it here. So here in the log group, if I go down, I will see a couple of log streams. So select the latest one, and we will see here, not in the first drop down, but in the second one, we will see the info event, basically what we say event. And the event contains like this was a query. The field name is getStream. What is interesting is this identity. And the identity is data about the user that is doing this query. And that's why we needed the authentication and the Amazon Cognito authorization mode for our API. Because now from our Lambda function, we can get this sub, which is the unique identifier of a user, and we can right away encode it. How we're gonna encode it? We're gonna do that based on the using the StreamChat SDK for Node.js. And if we go to here to the documentation for the Node.js, there is client and users, token and authentication, or even like in the first one, backend. Here we see the first step is generating user tokens. So to generate user tokens, we simply create a client by passing there our ID and our secret. And with that client, we simply do create token and provide there the ID of a user. As simple as that. Our StreamChat is coming from the package StreamChat. And the thing is that by default, we're not going to be able to import StreamChat here because we didn't install it in that project. Like all Lambda functions, you can think of them as separate independent projects. And they're independent projects because, as you can see, this getStream function, in the source, it has a package.json. And here you can specify the dependencies that you need. So our dependency will be StreamChat. And for the version, you can actually like navigate there and do npm install, but I'm gonna do it actually manually, not to have to go there. So npm StreamChat, let's check the version, the latest version, 6.2.0. Let's go with this one. And I'm gonna add 6.2.0 here. Dependencies, yeah, I forgot the comma. So make sure to add this dependency to our package.json in the function getStream token. And now here we're gonna be able to get the StreamChat by doing require. We're gonna require the StreamChat SDK, and here we're gonna call StreamChat. Is that how it's done? StreamChat, yes. Now we need to create the client. So let's create the client, but I'm not gonna create it here. I'm gonna create it inside this function. So client is equal to StreamChat dot client, right? No, StreamChat dot get instance, and here we need to provide the key and then the options. Where are we taking them? Well, we could hard code them here, but we specifically said that we don't want to hard code, and if you remember, we sent them as environment variables to our Lambda function. And to double check that, you can go to the Lambda function, go to the configuration, and here environment variables, we see stream key and stream secret. To get the environment variables, we will take them, for example, stream key is equal process.environment.stream key, and the same for the stream secret, or I can easily in one line destructure them from there. Stream secret is gonna be destructured from the environment. Now I can pass the stream key as the first argument and the stream, not chat, but stream secret as the second one. 1 second. Okay, now using this client, const token equal, let's see here, client.create token, and then the name. So it's client.create token, and then here we need to put the user ID. How do we get the user ID? Well, remember in this event when we console logged it, we have here .identity, and inside identity we have this sub. So our ID will be event.identity, identity .sub. But in some cases this value might be missing. So we could do if event question mark identity question mark dot sub is null, then we will return, I don't know, an empty string. Or we could throw an error actually. We could throw new error, but I'm gonna keep it simple and return empty string. Now this token is generated and we can return it from our Lambda function. Okay, that's everything our Lambda function should do. It simply should initialize a client, but the difference between the client on the backend and the client on the frontend is that on the frontend in the app.tsx, when we call client get instance, we are providing only the API key, not the API secret. That's the idea, because in the frontend we should not use the secret. That should happen in our backend. And here it's safe because as well, like we are using environment variables and so on. So let's go ahead and deploy this new update to our Lambda function and give it a go and see if we didn't make any mistakes. I love this man's voice. The thing is that I'm a bit sick today, so yeah, but I'm happy. He's low-key good. Thanks. Well, I'm gonna be back in 1 minute, guys. I need to do something important. Okay, I'm back. Come on, updating the Lambda function usually doesn't take a lot of time. Yes, it is done. And now we can go ahead and try to run the same query one more time. So let's run the query. And we already don't see that string, but we see an actual token. So that's amazing. However, if you see any errors, to debug it again, go to Lambda function that you can find by going to your Amplify application here function, and you can right away press here viewing CloudWatch. This is going to be where your logs will be stored. You access the latest log stream, make sure like check the time, and here you will, if there is any errors, you will see them in one of these log events. So if you have, double check what's the problem, and then go back and see like if you have some issues here, or if you didn't provide properly the environment variables and so on. But because we are, in our case it worked, that's good, and we can close probably everything. And what should we do next? Well, we have this context, authentication context, right? And here is where we're saving the user ID and set user ID. Well, you know what? Most probably as well here, because it's authentication context, is where we will handle the client connection with StreamChat. Basically the functionality that we have at the moment in the sign up screen with connect user. So let's keep this one here, and also the authentication context. Now, what do we have to do? Well, when this thing mounts, so we're gonna use a use effect. We will call connect StreamChat. Connect StreamChat user. So let's get this one here. Connect StreamChat user is going to be a function. Let me do const and here sync. Now in this connect StreamChat user, I'm gonna bring the logic from our connect user function here. So let's get it from here, bring it to our connect StreamChat user, and here we will need a client. Our client is inside our app.tsx. We have this client, and we are providing it to the chat client. Because chat client is below our authentication context, our authentication context will not have a client and will not be able to access it using the use chat context because it's above the chat. But that's how it should be. So let's send the client to auth context here as client. And this way in authentication context, besides the children, we can also get the client. Okay, we have client, connect user. For Vadim, as I said, we don't need username, we need the unique identifier of a user. And to get the unique identifier of a user, we're gonna use the const user data is equal await authentication, and let's make sure to import authentication. And then call the get, come on, current authenticated user. Now from here, the sub will be user data dot attributes dot sub. We can console even warn this to see it on the screen. Let's save and let's reload. Authentication context, what's happening? Possible, not this one. Yes, it's this one. So it means that we are getting the sub correctly. All right, so this sub is gonna go here. For the name, actually we don't have the username because we went with a very default authentication and we didn't add any custom fields, which you can do in Amplify. So for that reason, actually I'm gonna destructure the sub and the email from the user data attributes. So for our name, I'm gonna simply pass email because that's the only identifier of a user that we have by default. It's email and ID. For the image, I'm gonna keep that one, but for the token, let's just simply add the token that we saw here. For example, where? Here, this one. So let's copy this token and let's use it here. This token was generated specifically for us, and yeah, let's see what else do we have to do here. Channel watch, and set user ID to the sub, to this user identifier. Let's have a look now. Now that we are not using development tokens anymore, we can go to our dashboard, chat, and overview. Let's scroll down until we get to the authentication, and let's disable let's enable authentication check by disabling this option. Settings successfully updated. And now we should be able to connect, to create a user in StreamChat SDK based on the user from our Cognito. So if I refresh, Faud, hello, how are you doing? Thank you very much for being here. This is a warning and it's coming from something else. This is the Cognito user that we are simply console logging somewhere, which I don't know where, probably in the app.tsx. Fetch user, yes, I don't need it anymore. Authentication. And I don't see any error, but what I want to do is remember the sub of a user. We can copy it or just note it down and check it. I'm gonna copy it and let's go to our StreamChat SDK, and here in the chat explorer we will be able to see all the users, and we can even search by user ID, and right away we see here a user that was created 2 minutes ago, basically now, last active, is online, has all this data about information, the name is this one. So what that means, it means that we have successfully authenticated a user and connected our database user and our Cognito user with the StreamChat SDK. So again, let's repeat what we had to do, and I'm going to give some hints on what you have to do if you're not using Amplify. The only step that is required to generate this token, by the way, we have to dynamically get it, but I'm going to get there soon. So the only thing is that instead of development tokens that should be used only in development and never in production, instead of that, we need to generate a user token, a JW token for that specific user on our backend. We need to do it on our backend because when encrypting and creating this token, we need to have the StreamChat API secret key in order for StreamChat SDK backend to be able to decode that information. Basically, this is a token that was encrypted using the secret, and using the same secret, StreamChat SDK backend can decrypt it and check if the ID is the same here. Because if I would provide here a different ID like 123, you're gonna see an error. So let's go here, let's scroll down. Wait a second. I cannot, oh, here. Error, user token does not have a user ID or is not matching with user.id. So our user token, the user ID there and the actual user ID are not matching, because here we encrypted our sub, but here we're passing 123. If I remove it, we're not gonna have that error anymore because they match. So that call of generating this token on your backend is very simple, like it's a one line of code. Basically here you can see it. Const token equal server client.create token. And this server client is the same client that we know how to implement using the get instance, but instead of just providing the API key, you also have to provide the API secret. That's the only difference between the server's client and the client. And here you can see in different like JavaScript, Ruby, Python, PHP, and so on. Perfect. And yeah, then you return it to your mobile application, this token, and you can connect the user to StreamChat, and this way you connect them together. All right, but as I said, we need to do one more step here because we need to dynamically get this token. So how we're gonna do that? Well, we're gonna, where is source? We're gonna have to run the GraphQL query that we ran here. This query getStreamToken. We will run it in our application. To do that, in our source, Amplify automatically generated for us a GraphQL folder where we have here queries. So let's import this getStream query in our authentication context and a couple more steps. So import getStream token from GraphQL queries. Then we're going to import the API module from AWS Amplify and also the GraphQL operation. Now with these three things here, we can go ahead and do const token response is equal to await API dot GraphQL, because API has REST and GraphQL, we need the GraphQL. And here, what do we want to do? We want to run a GraphQL operation. So let's call GraphQL operation. And which operation? The getStreamToken operation. Let's save. And let's console log this, console log the token response. So let's see, what do we have here? Here is our token response. It has an object with a field data, and inside data there is getStreamToken. So if I'm gonna do const token equal token response dot data dot getStreamToken, and if I'm gonna console log this one, should work. Yes, it's here. Now we will take this token and we're gonna provide it to our Connect user. But before that, let me check if token is not defined. Then I want to alert failed to fetch the token. Let's import this alert from React Native. We don't have React Native here. Like that. And here I'm gonna have to safely access this data. Like this. And we need to stop the execution by returning, right? Not to go here. Okay, I'm looking, I'm just trying to figure out if we managed to implement everything that I wanted. And now, if I'm gonna go to this one, I see the public channel and I can start chatting here, and others will see this new message and my name will be mail, which means that I have successfully created dynamically an account on StreamChat in our application. Okay, that's probably it regarding our authentication with our database. Do you follow, guys? How is it going so far? Do you have any questions? If not, we're gonna have to move forward. And before moving forward, I'm gonna simply commit everything because it's quite a lot of things here. Set up Amplify, authentication, and connection with Stream SDK. Perfect. All right, so my next step that I have planned is to properly separate our public channels from our from these channels, because by doing this they doesn't look very good because they are displayed on half of the screen both. So for that reason, I want to add a very simple two buttons here or two tabs on the top, and you would be able to switch from public to private channels. So for that, let's go in our navigation, drawer navigator. And here in the drawer navigator where we have our custom drawer, what we're gonna do? Well, first of all, let's add these two texts. So besides public channels, I'm gonna copy it and paste one more time. And if I want to render them in the same row, I should put them into a view. So let's put these two texts here. The view will also have some style. Styles dot tabs. And now this is gonna be private and the other one public. Let's import the view. From React Native, and let's implement these tabs styles, because I want to display them in the same row. So flex direction row, and the justify content, I want space evenly. Now, yes, I see them here on the top. For the group title, let me actually do it like this. So font size, I want it a bit bigger. 18 would be enough. 16 probably good. And font weight, I want bold. Yes. Now, we need to keep track of what chat list are we currently looking at. For that, we will need a state variable. So let's do tab and set tab is going to be our use state. Initially, it's going to be the public tab. So we can display the styles conditionally. So for that, let's add them into an array and add the second conditional style, which is going to be color. If the tab is equal to public, then the color that I want to set is white. Otherwise, it's light gray. Save. Here, it still looks the same, but if I'm gonna change it to private here, come on, private. And also let's remove it from here, from group title, the color. Okay, what's happening there? Light gray, simply gray. I don't see most of the texts. What happened? Let's white or gray. Color. Oh, yes, because we still see the, yeah, everything is fine, I think. Is it gray? No. Is it light gray? Come on. Oh, but the other one, yes, of course. The other one I didn't add I was expecting it to update, but I didn't add the styles for it. So let's do it like this. Okay, light gray. Come on, what's happening? Text private. Why both are white? Oh, here I need to change to private. Oh my god, I'm doing so many mistakes. Okay, now it's better. The other one is with gray and this one is highlighted. And now to each of these text fields, I'm gonna add a onPress event. And in the onPress event, I'm gonna set tab to here to public. Basically, I'm gonna update the state. And on the other one to private. And now I can move from one to another. Okay, the last step would be to delete this title and conditionally render this channel list or this channel list, depending on the tab. So we can do if tab is equal to public, I want to render this one with public filters, this channel list. Otherwise, I want to render this channel list. Save. Okay, here we have public. If I go to private, I see let's start chatting because there are no rooms there. You can play around with these tabs. I don't know, for example, border, bottom, width of 1, and border color gray. Yeah, maybe. Or let's do border, both border bottom and border top with 1, and also padding vertical 5 or 10. I don't know. I'm not a designer in this situation. It doesn't look very good. So I'm gonna leave it how it was because it was good. So now we have this nice switch from public to private messages. But the problem is that with private messages, where we have logout, you know what I'm gonna do? Text, align, center. Here, perfect. And I'm gonna actually extract it to styles.logout. So logout is this styles. Great. So, as I said, our next step will be to start private conversations, because at the moment there is no way to start private conversations. So, how are we gonna do that? Well, for that we first need a way to display all the users that we can chat with, basically a directory of users. So let's go ahead and create a new screen called user, or yeah, let's do it like this, user list screen.tsx. In this, I'm going to generate a very simple component that will have just a text user list screen for now. And let's go back to our drawer navigator and scroll up until we see this screen. Let's copy it, and we're gonna add one more here called user list. Let's include user list screen, and for the title I'm gonna do users. Now here in the private messages, we need to have a button to actually start a new private message, right? So let's go again in the drawer navigator, where we are rendering the the private things. So before the channel list, let's add, first of all, we need the fragment, because we will have to add a button here. So that button actually we can define in the components, not to have to repeat it multiple times. So in the components, let's do new file, button.tsx, React Native functional export. And this button will receive two things. The title of the button, which initially, by default, is going to be button. And the onPress event, that by default will be an empty function. Now, instead of this view, we're going to render a pressable. Instead of this title, we're going to render the property title. And the onPress event for the pressable will be the onPress event that we receive here. Basically, a very reusable pressable component. Has no corresponding closing tag. Okay, because here is the closing tag. Okay, now let's do React Native functional export, not export, React Native style. And here we're gonna have like the styles.container and style.text container. For now, let's just do background color just to see it, and we're gonna use the colors that we import from the constants dot light dot tint. Let's keep it like this. Have a look at how it looks. We need to import the style sheet, by the way. And then we can update the styles. So let's import this button in the drawer navigator, and let's render it here. But then that was imported from, make sure it's imported from components button. This button will have a title of, I don't know, how would it be? Start new conversation. Probably it's too much, but the onPress is gonna do something, but we don't know at the moment what exactly it's gonna do. Now, okay, here is on the top the start new conversation. So let's go to the button and add more styles. For example, some margin, of course, like 10, some padding inside to have more space, 10. That's already better. Align items, center. And for the text, we're gonna do color, white, font, weight, bold, and that's probably good. I'm gonna also do border radius 5 to smoothen out the corners of this button. Okay, with the button we are done. We have it pretty good here. Whenever we press on this start new conversation, we need to redirect the user to the user list channel. We are gonna redirect it using this props.navigation.navigate, but instead of always calling props.navigation, I'm going to do const navigation equal props, basically destructuring right away here, and I can remove props from here. So navigation dot navigate to users list. So if I press start new conversation, it's not working because user list. I messed up the name. Start new conversation, and we are on the page users. Awesome. So on the page users list, what do we have to do? We have to query the users from our application. Let's go to get stream documentation to see where we can find this information. So chat messaging, docs, and for React Native, let's go to the client. And here, come on. For client and users, there is a way to query users. So to query users, we simply call client.queryUsers, and then you can also provide some filters there. But it's pretty simple. So we are gonna need to import the use effect, because we are gonna run this when this page mounts, and a use state in order to save the users that we will receive from the backend. So in the use effect, what we are gonna do, this use effect will be called here. We're gonna fetch users. Fetch users, and let's implement this function. Const fetch users equal to async, and here we're gonna do const response equal await client. But where do we get the client? Well, we can get the client using a hook called use chat context, and this chat context will contain this client. So we can call now client.query users, and we're not gonna provide any, no, we actually need to provide an empty filter. Let's do console log response to see what do we get here. Let me refresh. Cannot update drawer navigation. Where do we have this one? While rendering a different component channel screen. Cannot update drawer navigator to locate the bed set state. Call inside channel screen. Channel screen. Channel screen. Do we have something here? This one is it coming from this one? Yes, it was actually coming from that one. Set options with a title. Never mind. We're gonna see why. And the other one, like if again, like you are, you want to, it's not a bad problem like this one, error no credentials or application ID. But if you are annoyed by this, I'm gonna show you real quick how to get rid of it. So in the app.tsx, where we're configuring Amplify, let's override this Amplify AWS config by putting it into an object, destructuring all the values, and we're gonna override the analytics. Analytics, is it like that? Enabled equal false. Let me double check if that's how you do it. It's a very, let me check if I refresh it. Analytics, yes, thank you. It's analytics. Enabled false. Did it solve it? Oh, it's not enabled false, but it's disabled true. And now we shouldn't see that error anymore. The annoying error. Yes, everything is clean. So let's go to the start new conversation here. And right away we see the response with all the users from our application. Well, let's go ahead in our user list screen, and instead of rendering this text, let's render a flat list, where the data will be, well, we need first of all the data. So for that, let's add users, set users equal use state, like this. Initially it's gonna be empty array. So let's call set users with response dot users. Now in the flat list for our data, we're gonna send users from our state. And for our render item, well, we need to create a new component for one item that will render the user there. So the file will be called user list item.tsx, and let's do React Native functional export. Back to our user list screen in the render item, it's going to be equal to this. And we have a function that we will receive the item, and we will return the user list item that was imported from the component. And let's send their user equal to this item that we get. Let's save, and let's go ahead, start new conversation. And here we don't see anything, but if I'm gonna do React Native style, and here a style for the name with color white, and give it to this style equal styles.name, just to see them. Style sheet was not imported, so let's import. Okay, we see user list item, user list item, user list item, because that's what we get here. But if we look in the log, this is the information that we know about the user. So one of them is the image, another one is the name. Then it also shows if the user is online or not. The role, if it's banned, like there is a lot of things that you can get from this object and decide how you want to render the list of users. What I'm gonna do is, let's start with simply rendering the name. So I'm gonna grab a user from our props user and render it here as user.name. Okay, all of them have a name now. And the other thing that I want to do is render the image. So let's go ahead and do source equal URI user.image. And for the style, I'm gonna say styles.image, and also style for this row or root. For the image, let's do a width of 50 pixels, an aspect ratio of 1 to have it squared. And after it is squared, we can do border radius 25 to render them as a circle. Start new conversation, can find variable image. Yeah, because we need to import it from React Native. So here, start new conversation, we have all the images and the names. Perfect. In the root, what do we have to do here? To provide justify flex direction row, then align items center to render them on the middle of a line, and also some padding here. 10 will be enough, probably yes. And for the image margin right 10. Okay, for the name, we can do font weight bold. Yeah, that's probably good. Vadim, how are you doing it? It seems that like you have a cold. Yeah, I have it, but I don't know. I've got my tea and we're going strong. We do not miss any Fridays, right? Okay, so what's next? What's next? We are rendering all the users in our from the StreamChat backend that we are querying here. So the next step will be, what are we doing whenever we press on a user? Well, we want to start a conversation with him, right? Because that's the usual thing that you want to do. To handle the press events on the user list item, let's import, instead of a view, let's import the pressable and replace it here. On press, we can actually implement the functionality of the on press here in this user list item, but I think that in different pages where we will use this user list item, the on press event will be different. In one page, you want to start a conversation. In another one, you want to delete him. I don't know. So for that reason, I'm going to receive this on press event as a property, and let's send it here. Now from our user list item, let's say that on press is the function that we will call start channel, start a private channel with this user. So let's define it here, const start channel. And what do we have to do? Well, in order to start a channel, there are two ways to do that. Channels, creating a channel. One way of creating a channel is to simply provide a channel ID. And in that situation, you would be able to add users to that channel later. Or another approach would be to provide a list of members. But the thing about creating a channel using a list of members is that later on you will not be able to add or remove members created this way. And this is a very good scenario with one-to-one messaging. And the cool thing is that whenever StreamChat behind the scenes will make sure that there is only one room with a combination of these users. So if we already created it, it's not gonna overwrite it, it's not gonna create it again, it's gonna just give it us back. So that's what we're gonna need to do. So channel, channel, the type is messaging because it's one-on-one messaging, that's good. The members, who is gonna be the members? One of them is gonna be our user ID, because it's us who should be in that channel. So for that reason, I'm gonna grab it from the authentication context by calling user ID equal use of context. So let's send our user ID here. And the second one is going to be the user on which we clicked there. On which user did we click? Well, whenever we press, we need to send there the user. So let's call it like this and send the user on which we pressed. That's why we're gonna receive it here in parameters, and we can say user.id for the members. Shall we give it a go? No, but after creating it, we can right away navigate to the, for example, if I go to the public, to the channel page to be able to start the conversation. So we create it and then navigate it right away. To do that, we're gonna need the navigation. So const navigation equal use navigation. And let's call navigation dot navigate. And where do we want to navigate? To the channel screen. Is this how it's called? I'm gonna go to navigation, drawer navigator, and here is channel screen. And we need to pass there this channel as the channel. Let's have a look if it will work. So let's go to the private here. Let's press on start new conversation. And let's start with Tony, for example. We are right away redirected here. And I can say, hey, Tony. Now if I'm gonna go to private conversation, we already see the conversation with Tony here automatically being added. And I can start a new conversation with David, for example. The problem here is that I still see the hey Tony. And it was a weird problem, but finally I managed to understand why and how it appeared. And it seems that in our channel screen, where we render our channel, we provided the key with channel data.name. But when we generate a channel with a second method by providing a list of members, in that situation the channel will not have a name. So instead the key will be the channel.id. Now I can say, hey David. I can go here, I see our hey David, and if I go to the other one, I see hey Tony. And if I go to the start new conversation with user, I can say hey user. Yes, that's how we start new conversation and how we manage them here. Okay. Why do we don't need the navigation here? Channel screen. Oh, because we removed it. Okay, so how do you feel, guys, so far? Nice, amazing. Okay, so that's regarding our private one-on-one conversations that we can start with anyone from our application. Very noise. What kind of noise? Tarun, can you please ask me these questions on Discord or on some social media, and I'm gonna get back to you afterwards because it's not related to today's project. I see you. I see the question. So, oh, you mean very nice. Okay, thank you. So let's commit everything. Git add, git commit. What did we do? Private messages. All right. Now, the next step that I want to do is to get into more of a group messaging that we have going on here, and to add some management possibilities. For example, this is a channel, this is an actual live stream channel, so I'm gonna switch the type of these channels to team channels because I want us to be able to see a list of users that is in that channel, to be able to invite other users and so on. In order to see a list of users, we can also query the users of one channel. And I am thinking of adding a little icon here on the top right in the navigation that will redirect us to the list of users or to some settings page. I don't know. For now, it can be simply list of users. To do that, let's go into our screens. Let's actually start with defining the screen. So new file, channel members.tsx. Let's do channel member screen to keep it consistent. And here React Native functional export. Perfect. Now in our navigation, drawer navigation, let's add this channel members. And the component will be channel members. Where is it? Channel members screen. And the title channel members. Okay, we have a screen, but how we're gonna navigate there? Well, as I said, I want to add an icon here. So for that icon, it's gonna appear on our channel screen. Here we are on the channel screen. And let's do it here. So besides the title, you can also specify the header right, just header right, which is going to be a function, and here you can render something. What I want to render is Expo vector icon, because we have already vector icons installed in our application. And here let's search for users. Let's take it from Font Awesome, this one. So we're going to import it like this. And we're gonna render it like this in the header right of our channel screen. Okay, I see it there. I just need to change the color to white. And what else? Probably that's good enough. Like I would add some margins there. Can we provide style here? Probably not. Probably I would have to add it into a actual pressable, because we need to handle the press events. So the font awesome is in the pressable, and here for the style I'm gonna do styles.icon. Let's define icon. The only thing that I want to do is add margin right 10. Yes, to have more space there. For the color, gray will look better, or light gray. Yes, this will look better. Okay, what should happen when we press here? Well, we need to navigate to our channel members. But how we're gonna do that? Because here we do not have the navigation object. Well, we can get the navigation object by, instead of providing an object to our options, property, we can provide there a function that will send us the navigation object and also the route object. And this function will return an object. But make sure to put this object in this round brackets, otherwise like it's gonna think that it's an actual function. So now if I do it like this, on the on press event on this pressable, I can do navigate to the channel members. So if I press here, can find variable channel members. Yes, because it's a string. If I press here, I'm to the channel members page. If I go here, perfect. The only issue is that at this moment I'm rendering this icon even when I don't have any channel members selected. So I'm gonna conditionally render this pressable only if the route.params.channel exists. Then I'm gonna render these channel members route. Because remember, in this channel, we always send this channel parameter. Object is possible undefined. Yes, that's why we need to add it like this. Save. Okay, now we don't see it, but if I'm gonna go to one channel, even this one, and now I'm gonna press on channel members, I'm gonna be redirected there. To be honest, I would structure it a little bit different, but maybe we can do it later. Yes, let me add it here. Okay, so another thing is that to these channel members, we also should send the channel, because we will need the channel to send, to make the query to get all the members of that channel. So channel, route params, channel. Perfect. Now in the channel members screen, we should do const route. Let's take the route using use route hook. And here let's do const channel equal route.params.channel. Like this. Route params.channel. Now we will also need again a use effect and a use state. In our state const, I'm gonna save the members, and here set members, which is equal use state empty array. Now in one use effect, we are going to query the members of this channel. How we're gonna do that? Well, we're gonna call a function fetch members, because it should be async, and let's implement this fetch members here. Const fetch members async function that will do const response equal, first of all we await, and then channel dot query. Let's see how to query them properly from the documentation. For example, channels, and here should be somewhere querying members. To do that is query member, and we provide an empty filter because we want to query all of them. Now let's do console log response, and in our logs let's go ahead, open in the private, let's open one of these channels, go here, and I see that this channel has two members, first one and the second one. But it's a bit different, the structure of a member and a user, because one member has inside the data about a user. Because besides the data about the user, a member also has information about what channel role it has, when he joined, when he was updated, and so on. So that's why we are referring them to members, and a member is also a user. Okay, so let's do set members with response.members. Now I'm gonna use the same flat list that we have in the user list screen. Let's copy it from here and add it in the channel members. Let's import the flat list from React Native. Data is gonna be members, and user list should be imported. And for a user, as I said, we don't pass the whole member object, we only pass this user, because that's what we need, like name, online, and so on. So for the user, I'm gonna pass item.user. And for the onPress, I don't know what should happen. Nothing at the moment. We just want to see them. So if I go to a private channel, let's reload it, and I go here. Channel members, Savin, Vadim, and user. Awesome. If I go to David, it's the same one. Virtual ID is missing keys for items. Yes, it's missing keys like this flat list. We usually don't provide the key extractor because we usually work with objects that have an ID. The problem is that the member object itself does not have an ID. It has a user ID. So at the moment, Flatlist doesn't know how to extract the key, where to get it from. So we need to provide a key extractor, which is a function that will receive an item. So the item, and we should return the key. So item.user_id. That's how it's called, user.id, probably. Let's see. Okay, let's go to Tony. Let's see. My user is twice. Does that mean that I don't have to add myself? Let's check it again. So in a private conversation, oh, this error is happening because it didn't finish loading, it didn't finish connecting with the server, and we're trying to query the chat rooms with an undefined filter. So to fix that and not to have it in the navigation index, here we can check if user ID, then return activity indicator. And do we set this user? Yes, we do set it. So now if I'm gonna go to Tony, check the users. Yes, now I see only 2 of them. And if I'm gonna go to David and check the users, it's still with Tony. What's happening? Drawer navigator. It's not updating. Yes, we need to call fetch members whenever the channel changes. So let's add the channel to the dependency list. Now it's with David. If I go to Tony, check this. It's with Tony. If I go to user, check it. It's with user. Yes, we need to call these fetch members every time our channel from the params changes. So now we can look at the channel members. The thing is that here in the public, if I look at the channel members, I'm not going to see anyone because this is actually a public chat room that anyone can join even as guests. So it doesn't have actual members. And for that, like it's, I haven't decided yet like how to properly manage them because there are a lot of options and it depends on specifically your use case on how you want to manage this public groups or group chats. So in a moment, like we're gonna go there. Now we have a users. Yes, that's good. Okay. So, now probably our next step, regarding our private conversations, we are pretty good on this one. We are managing it pretty well. Now it's time to manage as well the public rooms, the group chats where we will be able to invite a lot of people. So that's also a bit more challenging, but let's go ahead and implement it as well. The same way as we have in the private, like start new conversation, let's also have in the public start new channel. So in the screens, let's create a new file, new new channel screen .tsx. Let's call React Native Functional Export, and let's go to our drawer navigator. And where do we have it? In the custom drawer container. For our private one, we have a button, so let's copy it and add first of all the template, then the button, and then the channel list for the public one. Start new channel. Navigate to new channel, and we need to provide the new channel screen here. So new channel, and the title will be new channel. The component as well, new channel screen, that is imported from our screens. Now if I'm gonna go here to the public, I see start new channel. If I press, I'm redirected to the new channel. Perfect. Here in the new channel, like what we have to do, let's do React Native function style. What we will have to do here is simply render a text input with a placeholder channel name, placeholder channel name. What else? With a style of styles.input, and also let's do placeholder text color to light gray. Sorry. Oh, I don't feel very good. 1 second, guys. I'm gonna be back in a second. All right, so for the styles, well, we need to import this text input. Text input. What? I forgot text input. Oh, it was imported from our library. Can find style sheet as well. Let's import it here. Okay, we have it there. And after the text input, I'm gonna provide the button from our buttons. The title will be create channel, and the on press as well create channel function that we implemented right away here. So const create channel like this. Thank you very much. So let's go ahead here, start new conversation, public, start new channel, and let's define some styles for our input. Input, and also for the page itself, I want to add some styles.root. And the page will have padding 10. The input as well will have some height 50. Background color, I don't know, some gray or dark gray. I don't like it. I don't like the background color, the border width 1 and border color gray, and padding 5 and border radius 5. Now probably it's better. And some margins, to have margin horizontal 10 to be in the same as here. Okay, so we have this form. The last thing that we need to do is to bind this text input to a state variable. So let's do it here. The state variable is going to be the name. Set name is equal use state, initially empty string. So let's bind the value with the name, and the on change text or on text change, I always forget, is going to be set name. Now if I'm going to write something, no, it's not correct, on change text. Now if I'm going to write, I need to provide the color of the input to white. Color white, yes. Okay. So what should happen when we press create channel? We should create a channel, of course. To do that, we're gonna need the client. So the client, how can we style it up so that it is more responsive? Like, what specifically do you mean responsive? Like, if you properly define the styles with flex boxes and things like that, then your application will scale on all the screen sizes. The important thing is not to, for example, if you have an image and you want to display it full screen, you will not do like width is equal 300 pixels and you will look at your phone and you'll see, oh yeah, it's full screen. No, that's not going to work because you define a hard-coded value that looks good on your phone, but it will look bad on other phones. So try to use, like, I don't know, width 100%, like relative sizes, and also flexbox is going to help you. What I wanted to do here is to take the client from use chat context because we need to do const channel equal client dot channel, and here we need to provide the channel type. So what's the channel type? It's gonna be, let's try the team channel type, because with a team channel type we're gonna be able to like, it's not gonna be a public channel first of all in comparison with a live stream one. So that's what we need. Team, and then here we need a unique ID. If you want to create a unique conversation, you can leave out the ID parameter and provide the list of make sure to await channel create or watch before accessing channel function. If I don't provide the ID, will it assign a random one? That's what I'm interested in. Let's have a look at the documentation. Channels, creating channels, and we are creating channels, and we are interested in not the first one. Yeah, the first one actually. We need to provide the channel ID, and after that we're going to be able to query them. We could use that name for the channel ID, but that's not very recommended because the channel ID should be unique. So if someone else will use the same name as your channel, I'm not sure what's gonna happen, but definitely not something that you would expect. You would probably join their server. And then let's provide the name of a channel that the user provides in the options. This is the display name of a channel. Okay, let's try. And yeah, but after that we need to do await channel dot create. Await channel dot create. So let's try public start channel, and for the channel name, new channel. Create channel. Something is happening. We don't see anything. Rejection ID is 0. What? I'm gonna go in the Explorer and in the channels. No, I don't have it. Why? Create. Invalid chat ID, new channel. Letters, numbers, and are allowed. Okay, I cannot provide a space there. That's why, actually, in order to provide a unique ID and not to mess with the name, I'm gonna use like a randomly generated number. I'm expo UUID. So let's grab this package UUID that's gonna generate for us unique identifiers, not random but unique, and they are time-based, and that's what we need. Let's install it and then import it like this. Import v4 as UUID v4, and for the channel ID we're just gonna simply call UUID v4 like this, and this will generate a unique identifier. Let's give it a try. Public. Why I don't see the button? Where is the button? Don't specify an ID. But the second parameter, it's either I specify a null ID because I need to pass the second parameter, because I need to get to the third one with the options there. But let me try if I'm gonna provide null. Where is my button there? Drawer navigator. What happened to you? We have button and channel list. Okay, now it's here. Start channel, test, create channel. Probably it's not gonna work. When using members-based ID, specify at least 2 members. The ID is optional only if you provide the list of members, because if you don't provide an ID, then Stream expects a list of users. And this is the error. When using members-based ID, specify at least 2 members, but we didn't specify. So I'm gonna have to use this UUID v4. Let's see if it will work. Let's try to restart our Metro server. Stopping the server. And I'm gonna start it with dash dash, then dash dash clear. Let's go ahead and restart. Actually press run on iOS simulator. Come on. Okay, so this is an error, a very common error after we implement Amplify. So if you get this error saying just haste map module naming collision get stream token, the following files share the same name, like the one that is from the backend and the one that is from the current cloud backend. Basically, why this is happening is that in Amplify automatically kind of duplicates some of the files, one in this current cloud backend and one in the backend. And Metro has issues because they have the same name. So the solution would be to ignore the second one, to tell Metro to ignore the second one. The solution to this problem, I have it somewhere here. Come on, React Native issues. So we need to install, for Expo, we need to install metro config in our application, and then add a metro.config.js file in our root directory. For React Native CLI, we simply have to edit the metro config because it's already there. So and add this code there. So let's install Expo metro config, save dev, because we need it only in development. And after that, we need to create a metro.config file in our root directory. In root here, let's create a file, metro.config.js, and paste in this code. Only this code? No, we import as well. So import the exclusion list, and here we specify that the current cloud backend, just don't take it into consideration, and this will solve the naming collision. Now let's close our server and run it again, but now it's very important to start it with -- clear. All right, let's give it a go. Building. While it's building, I'm gonna be back. Here I am. It's still building. Vicente is saying, hi, first time seeing you live. Congrats for the channel and the good videos that you have. Thank you very much, and hello, welcome here. Okay, so it's running again. Yeah, we were at the starting a new channel, test, let's create. Let's check the logs. Crypto get random values not supported. Should I just get simply a random? React Native Expo install, React Native get random values, import it before UUID, since UUID might also appear as a more safest is just to import React Native get random as the very first thing in your entry point. You must be using at least. Okay, we need one more package for this to work. All right, npm install React Native get random values. And we need to import this React Native vector random values in our app.tsx. Let's do it at the top here after the React Native gesture handler. Okay. Now let's go ahead, start a new conversation. No, public, start a new channel, test, create channel. Let's see the logs. I think it worked because I didn't see any errors. And if I'm gonna go to the Explorer and refresh, I see the newest one with a random identifier, and the options config here should be where? Config name, not in the config, in the what? Created by. Should have information about the name of a channel. But it means that it automatically created it. So that's the good part. The problem is that if I'm gonna look here, we don't see this channel here. Why? Because of the filters that we are using. So if I'm gonna go to the navigation, drawer navigation here, we are rendering in the public screen where we have public here. We are using the public filters, and if I'm gonna check the public filters specify that the type of a channel should be live stream. Well, I would say that first of all, I'm gonna add the type to these filters. Let's say private filters will contain, besides the members, it will also contain type, and it should be only messaging, because otherwise it's gonna return all the channel types, not only the one-on-one channel types. Come on, where I am, drawer navigator. So type messaging, private filters. Let's send them properly here instead of filters. And the other one is here for the public filters. Like I don't need only live stream. Probably I need everything except messaging. So let me try to add an operation, because the filtering works based on the same logic as how MongoDB filters work. And I know that in MongoDB, to check if something is not equal, to query based on negation, for example, not equal, we would do something like this. So here I want to get all the channels where I am a member. So for that I need these members in. I need to specify that I should be a member of that channel to see it in my feed. But the type of a channel should be anything else than messaging. Will it work? Public? I don't know if it still works, because the problem is that I'm not a member there. So let me try to query, to comment and see if we get any channels with this filter, type not equal to messages. Query channel failed with error. 4 channels match your query but cannot be returned because you don't have access to them. Did you forget to include members in? Yes, okay, that's good. It means that it will work once we will add ourselves in that channel. How we're gonna add ourselves in that channel? When we create the channel, let's add ourselves right away. So we create the channel and then we add ourselves there. So from the documentation, in the channel, let's do updating channel members, adding and removing channel members, await channel add member. Well, it's that simple. Let's do await channel dot add member, and the member will be user ID that we will get from the authentication. So basically add ourselves there, user ID equal use of context. It can be possibly null, but it won't. Now, the one last step for the new channel after we create it, we want to navigate. So navigation equal use navigation, not navigation state, but simply navigation. And at the end, let's do navigation dot navigate to the channel screen with this channel, right? The one that we just created. So let's start a new conversation, new channel, create channel, possible unhandled rejection. Why? Let's have a look. Cannot serialize. Querying channels. No, that's something different. Wait a second. What's happening here? So public. Oh, here it is. Start new channel. Maybe the navigation name was wrong. It's channel screen as I see here. So it should be channel screen. Okay, let's start a new chat. Another, I don't know, memes. Create channel. And it's here. Hi everyone. Let's send. And I can check the members, and at the moment in the members list is only it's only me, it's only myself. But the good thing is that now in the private I see only the private messages, and in the public I see the public channels here, and specifically the public channels that I am part of. Okay, that's good, but I need a way to be able to add members, to add users to this channel, right? How we're gonna do that? Adding users to the channel. Well, when you go to the channel, go to the users, here should probably be a button to add users, right? So that's gonna be where? First of all, let me do git add, git commit -m, and that was our group channels. Now in the source screens channel members, in the channel members screen, what we're gonna do? Well, here in this flat list, I'm gonna add at the top of this list. To add something on the top, we can do list header component, and I'm gonna add a button that we have. And the title of this button will be invite members. Invite members. Okay, list header. Now we need a screen for this invite members thing. So let's do invite members screen .tsx. This invite let's do React Native functional export. And the invite members, we need to add it in our navigation. But you know what I was thinking to do? First of all, let me show you the issue, and then I'm gonna show you how to solve it. So now if I'm gonna go to the memes, I'm here and I want to go to the to these channel members. And now to be able to go back, I need to actually slide and select memes once again. There is no back button here. And in order to add automatically the back button, I'm thinking to group all the screens that are related to one channel. And the screens that are related to one channel is the channel screen, is the channel members, and also the invite channel members. They're all related to one specific channel. So for that, I'm gonna add a new navigation, which is gonna be a stack navigator. So channel stack.tsx. And here, let's import create native stack navigator. Like this. Let's do const stack equal create native stack navigator. And here, let's do const channel stack equal to a component that will have the stack dot navigator, and inside it will have the, for example, this screen, but it's not going to be a drawer screen. This screen, but it's going to be a stack screen. Channel screen like this. Header right. You know what? I'm going to extract this to a separate component just to have it easier. So that's going to be here const header right button, or just header right, and it's going to be like this, equal to the, okay, we need route here, route. So header right, let's rename it better. Members icon. Members icon, route equal route, and also navigation. Navigation equal navigation. Pressable, we need it here. Well, I will add it like this. So if route param channels return null, and otherwise return our component here, the pressable. So pressable, come on, import from React Native. Navigation, we take it from the params, from the props. Navigation. Font awesome 5, we import it from vector icons, and styles, we define them at the bottom. Let me copy them. Oh my god. To the channel stack, and I'm gonna delete everything except the icon. because here in the channel stack we need the icon for this members icon. Oh my god. So what other stack screens do we need to take from the drawer? The channel members shouldn't be here, it should be here, and it shouldn't be a stack channel member screen. Let's see right now if it's gonna work. Channel JSON string if I cannot serialize cyclic structures. So user, we are on the channel, going here again. Channel members screen. Oh, we didn't export this one yet. So export default channel stack, and in the drawer navigator where we have this one, instead of a channel screen we're gonna say channel stack, and we're not gonna have probably the header right, the title, what's the problem with channel stack? Did I made a mistake? Channel stack. Style sheet. We need to import style sheet from React Native. Here. Channel stack. Yes, because we didn't return. Okay, my bad. Now we're returning this stack navigator. And we need to hide the title here. So header shown. No, actually, it's interesting. So here we see that one, but here we see route params channel. Route params channel. Well, okay, that's interesting. Because we you don't need to create a separate stack. I think I specifically wanted a separate stack for this one. But it's not just about the screen, the buttons themselves. But now I'm thinking, why did I went this route? No, the problem is that here I don't have the route. Channel screen. Main or chat. It's gonna be channel screen chat. It's okay. So whenever I press on one channel here, that's gonna be the drawer navigator. So in the on channel select, I need to navigate to the channel screen, but not on the channel screen, but directly, but one more nested screen. So here is gonna be screen, chat, then params or think it was params, but I might be wrong. So if I go now, it's on the chat. Now evaluating. No, come on. Navigation to there. Then inside this channel screen to the chat. And here I don't have the icon. Why? Because params most probably is not correct. So navigation nested navigation graphs. No. React navigation. And here let's say nested. So navigating nested. Screen this one, but the data, how do you provide? Params. That's how I did. Params. Screen. Params channel. In channel stack. Options. We have chat and header right, members icon. With the route from the chat. So let's do console log route real quick. Key chat params undefined. Why parameters are undefined? In the drawer navigator, on channel select. If I'm gonna navigate to something else just to see if it's at least working, if I'm gonna go here, no, it's not working. Does anyone see the issue there? Screen, channel members. Navigate to the channel screen. So channel list on select calls this on channel select, and this function will do navigation navigate to screen and params. I don't get it. Okay, wait a second. It navigated correctly there, but now it's still undefined. You can add it manually. What do you mean? Oh, okay, here we have it. Params channel. Params channel. But why don't display it? Members icon. Console log route. Route.params.channel. Oh, it should be Inverted. Oh my god, come on, Vadim. Now it works better. And from the drawer navigator, here in the options, I don't need the function anymore, so I can do header shown false to have only one header there. So now I can swipe left, choose one, go here, come back. I'm still here. I still can go there. And that's, I think, much better. There is a way to add the Hamburger menu as well, and you can manually open it, but still, like, you can open it just by sliding from the left. So what I wanted to do here, okay, I probably spent like 20 minutes only to fix this issue, but now there is this new channel. No, we can go to the channel stack, and we will provide one more channel stack for our one more stack screen for our channel, and that's gonna be called invite members. Let's do invite members. Okay, and now from our channel member screens, we have here a button with the title invite members. So we're gonna add the on press, and on press we are going to call, we need navigation here, so let's grab it. Const navigation equal use navigation, and we will do navigation dot navigate to our newly added page, invite members. So let's go ahead here, select a public one, memes, go here, invite members, we can go back, invite members. Perfect. In the invite members, I think we will also need the channel. So let's pass it there. All right. Now let's go to the invite members, and here what we're gonna do, let's again query all the users from our application. We can also add some filtering to make sure that we are querying only the users that are not inside our channel that we are trying to add. So I'm gonna take that query from where? From the screens, user list screen, and here we have a use effect, fetch users, and let's grab also the client, user, state, and so on, and let's bring them in the invite members here. Let's import use chat screen, use state, use of context, and use navigation. Now we can as well render them here. Basically, the logic of querying and rendering it's kind of the same. The only difference will be in what happens when we click on one of them. Make sure to import them, all of them. Expected, what did you expect? So let's select a channel from here. Members, I see 2 of them, invite members. And you know what I want to do is to provide some filters. I think it's members, but no, never mind. It's good. Now, whenever I press on one of them, I want to select them. And for that, I'm gonna have another array of const selected user IDs. I'm gonna keep only the user IDs in the selected, so set selected user IDs equal use state and empty array. Now, whenever I press on it, select user, on press is gonna be select user, and it's gonna select user, is gonna receive a user, and we are gonna either add it in this array or not. So let's first add it. So set selected user, existing users, and we will modify these existing users by adding the existing users and then adding the user.id there at the end. Now let's say user list item. I'm gonna send there a property is selected, and this is selected will be true or false depending if this selected users dot contains or includes the item.id. Now let's go in the is selected in the user list item and get the is selected. For the is selected, I'm gonna add a simple where is it? A simple icon. Check. Check. Probably this one is gonna be good. So let's render is, if is selected is true, then render this and design. But by default is selected will be false to work in our places. So let's import and design. And for the name, let's do, I don't know, green. Okay, let's select one chat room. I don't know, this one. Okay, it's working. Oh my god. The only thing that it should be at the end. So end design. I'm gonna put it into a view style margin left auto and everything in that view. We need to import. Okay, and now will it work? Invite members. Yes, now it's advanced. Okay, perfect. And we need a button, right? We need a button as well. Let's do it as well as the list header component, list header component, and that's gonna be a button with the title invite, and the on press is gonna be invite users. You can hide this button if no selected users are selected by checking the length, and only if the length is a trophy value, means that different than 0, it's gonna appear there. So now if I'm gonna go to public, invite members, text strings, what's happening there? Okay, invite user, I need text strings. Okay, I need to make this one, to cast this one. Public memes, let's go here, invite members, and I can press, but if I press 2 times, I want to deselect it. So for that reason, I'm gonna have to check if selected user IDs includes user ID, then we need to remove it. Otherwise, we need to add it. So like this. And to remove it, it's pretty simple. We're gonna do set selected user ID. We're gonna get existing users, and we're gonna filter the existing users. Filter, and we're gonna keep only the user that is different than user.id. Now if I'm gonna press, doesn't work. Includes. Let's see. Set selected user ID, existing users, filter. The user shouldn't be on the channel already. What do you mean? Invite members. Why this is not working? Console.log. Here. Better warn. Yeah, it's coming here, but it's not filtering properly. Filter means keep only the ones that are different. All of them are different. User ID, user ID. Oh my god. Existing users. Maybe I need to update, create a new array out of them. User ID, existing user. Oh, it's not okay. In the array, I have IDs, so I just have to do ID is different, and I don't need to destructure it probably. So now, if I select more, I deselect, it works. Perfect. The user list shouldn't contain any users that already joined the channel. Yeah, that's what I wanted to do, but then I decided like not to do it. Yes, Stream does let us query the channel members, so we could to do exclude already existing channel members. Yes, maybe I can come back to this a bit later, but I'm gonna be back in 1 minute, and we're gonna continue with this feature. All right. So, let's think. Okay, when we press on this invite, we call invite users, that we didn't implement it yet. So let's see how to invite members. Updating channel members, add members, simply like that. Okay, that will be easy. Await channel. We have a channel here, right? Or we didn't get it yet. So we need the channel from our use const route equal use route. Route like this, and const channel equal route.params.channel. Now using this channel, we call add members, and we are gonna add all the selected user IDs. After that, this is gonna be async. After that, we're gonna do navigation.go back. Let's have a look. So in this memes chat, I am only alone here, as usual. So let's invite Tony and David. Invite. Maybe it didn't refresh yet, but if I'm gonna go again, they are here. Amazing. So it actually works. Oh my god. I can't believe it. It's that easy. It's that actually easy. So as we said, yeah, we can exclude the channel members. So we can exclude the existing channel members. So I could do something like this: const existing members equal channel.query members, and here like this. Now I can do console log existing members just for me to see them. So invite members. Where do we console log that thing? Console log route. I don't need to do that. Oh, it's a promise. So let's do a wait. Invite member screen. Wait. Invite members. Okay, we have members, and they have this user ID. I can do const existing member IDs equal existing members dot map member. I'm gonna take simply the user ID dot user ID. Now this should be an array of simply the IDs of the users that are there. Let's have a look. Invite members. Existing members map is not a function. Existing members. Oh, existing members dot members. Okay, yeah, this is the array of users. And I think I can right away query here members instead of in, because I can provide in, I know that's possible, existing members IDs. This will return only the members that we know. Or wait a second, ID or yes, ID in existing members. But if I provide not in, then I should receive all of them except this David and Tony are not here. My email is there, but I guess that I have two emails. So if I don't have this thing, yes, I have two emails with the same, and just like that, just in these 2 lines of code, we managed to filter the members and only query the members that are not yet part of a channel. Yes, that's really amazing. Like we have here channel members. Like we could implement features like selecting here channel members and deleting them. That's also very easy, and we would do them in a similar way with a selected user. Guys, do you want to join and let's try to test it out and chat with each other? For that, I'm going to move this one to tunnel. And you should be able to scan this QR code with your phone. And if you have Expo Go on your phone, it's gonna open this project right away on your phone. And you can enter and we can start playing around and testing and seeing how it works. I will try also to send this URL in the chat. So here in the chat I pasted the URL as well, where you can scan this QR code. And we can play around a bit and see. So in my case, it didn't work from the first time, but I need to wait until it downloads everything. Damn, I'm pretty happy with this application. Like it's I would say production ready. It's a fully fledged Discord clone that would scale with amount of users that will join. It's super performant because behind the scenes, Stream SDK is optimized for these use cases. So I don't know, should we deploy this application for our use case? I don't see a reason to do that, but maybe. So let me sign up with a new account just to check how it works, the whole flow. One moment. And I'm also gonna be there. Uni saying just sign up for the waitlist. Is there a way to ensure a spot? I'm willing to make a deposit. Dying for the program to open up. This is amazing content. Thank you very much. I'm interested. Are you new here or you've been following for a longer time? Regarding your question, just keep an eye on your email and you're gonna receive an update if you are on waitlist with more specific dates about when the launch is planned. I am planning the launch in April, but I cannot promise it's going to be like in the beginning of April. It can be like in the second or third week, because I have still a couple of modules, very important modules to film, and after that I'm gonna have like a first good version that I'm gonna be proud to share with you guys. So that's the plan. I'm still trying to sign up here. And if you're gonna keep an eye on email, you're gonna manage to get in. The only thing is that like the batch will be as well like time limited, and you'll be able to, probably I'm gonna run this campaign for 1 week, and then like we will get back to working with the people that will join, and yeah. Okay, where is my email? So guys, did anyone enter there? Okay, the sign up process is too long. Hey Naz, hello. How are you doing? The thing that I want to improve here is to actually provide that hamburger icon to be able to open the drawer. So in the navigation, open drawer. I'm new here in regards to commenting, but I have been watching for a while. I will keep a very close eye on email and sign up at the moment I get it. Awesome. Naz is saying, doing amazing, brother. I'm eating and watching you. Oh, that's so nice. But we are almost at the end. But it's crazy. Like we managed to build like a Discord clone in just 2 episodes, and like it's contains everything starting from. Actually, let's do a demo because we are almost at the end. The only thing that I said I wanted to do is with this open drawer. In our navigation, where is our navigation? Navigation, channel stack, because here we have that header right, and probably we will have a header left. But before jumping into implementing the actual thing of displaying the icon, I will try to replace the navigation here with that drawer to see if it's at least working. So navigation open drawer. Will it work? Because it's in a different context, so I don't know. Hello. On press, open drawer. Okay, I need a chat list here. Yes, it's working. So I can safely create, copy this one and rename it Hamburger menu. I'm not gonna have this if statement. I'm just simply gonna return it, or for the icon, let's see what icon we're gonna use. Here, hamburger, not like that. 3 lines, how is it called? Grip lines, not grip lines. What's our name for this hamburger menu? Because I cannot find it. Searching hamburger menu. It doesn't matter. This one will work. So let's import and design. And let's import this one as well. Unexpected error. Why? And whenever we press on this thing, we're gonna open our our drawer like this, and let's give this hamburger menu to our header left component. And it actually needs only the navigation. Not from here. From the hamburger menu. It was menu, simply. Yes, actually, that's true. Good to know. And last reload. Will you be covering deploying on Apple's App Store, Google Store in the program? I'm a full stack web developer, so I'm not used to deploying for mobile application. Yes, that's actually the last modules that I have to prepare and record, and they will cover deploying to App Store and Google Store very in detail. So don't worry. We're gonna talk about all the details there, because yeah, as you can imagine, like deploying a mobile application is quite a process, I would say. Like there are a lot of things that you need to know and that are difficult at the beginning, especially with Apple and iOS. There is a lot of things to take care. And I'm gonna cover not only the development side of how to build the application and ship it there, but also the marketing side. For example, you will not be able to deploy an application if it doesn't have screenshots or if it doesn't have other stuff like that. So I'm gonna cover all these steps that will take your application from code until it's in the hands of the users. So the Hamburger menu is working perfect. We can add users here, invite members, and yes, we can invite all of them. Invite. What's the problem there? Invite members. Okay, we have an error. StreamChat error. Update channel failed with error. Cannot add members to the distinct channel they don't belong to. Please create a new distinct channel with it. Oh, the thing is that with a private messages here, I shouldn't be able to invite members. So that's a thing that we have to check. Only in the public channels we would be able to invite members. Let's invite everyone. Okay, we have more. Who? So many people. Awesome. Hey, can you share the color and icon theme you're using? If you're talking about VS Code, I have a video on the channel that is covering the VS Code extensions that I'm using, and there I also include the themes and icon pack and so on. Uni saying, holy shit, this program is going to be 10 out of 10. Can't wait again. Going to rewatch this tonight and build along. Thank you for being so helpful. Amazing. I would recommend to start from the previous video, from the first one. That one is 3 hours, this one is 3 hours, and in 6 hours you have like everything that we have done so far. Okay, 6 people already saw the message. I'm wondering if you can send messages as well. I'm gonna add everything to Git, and I'm gonna commit everything so you have source code as well. I'm already tired. My voice has left me for a long time. So what have we done here? Adding members to group channels. So guys, If you have any questions, now is the time. Leave them right now, or you can leave in the comments, and I'm gonna try to come back and help you and answer with your issues if you have, or with anything that you are stuck with. Thanks again for watching till the end. If you found this video helpful and valuable to you, please subscribe to the channel, because that's helping us a lot here to grow the team and to grow the channel in order to bring much more valuable content in future for you, including project tutorials and other specific tutorials that we are launching on the channel. So take care, guys. Stay hydrated, write clean code. And while in the weekend, you can check out this video or this video. They're both amazing and you'll learn a ton. And that's it for today. I'm gonna head out. Bye.